I ask you what you're doing, please, sir?
Oh, Inspector, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Can you identify yourself, please, sir?
Inspector, come over here,
Inspector
please.
Dice.
Can I ask you what you're doing, sir?
Taking a picture of these.
Right, why are you doing that?
Because I'm going to report them to professional standards and the council.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, look, absolutely disgusting. I've witnessed so many people having to walk onto the road and
Just let you know, I am recording at the moment.
Thanks for telling me, Inspector.
Okay.
I'm going to go
as a matter of courtesy, just let you know. Obviously, I don't know who you are.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a mask on. That could obviously be some reason for you hiding your identity. I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got a camera going as well.
I have,
and you're taking photos of police station, police buildings. So I would ask you to desist on doing that, okay?
Really?
If you want to take photographs of police vehicles, that's fine. That's up to yourself.
What offence is it, please, if you don't mind me asking?
If you want to look it up, I don't know the full legislation, so I won't want to mislead you, but there is an offence of taking photographs within or of a public building. Like you can't do it of a court or within a court building. It's the same guys, the same legislation.
The inspector's conduct from the very beginning raises serious concerns about professionalism and legal knowledge. He immediately tells the auditor to stop photographing the police station without identifying any law that actually prohibits the activity. Simply taking photos of a police building from a public place is not, by itself, an offense. Restricting someone's lawful activity without a clear legal basis is an abuse of authority. The situation becomes even more concerning when the auditor asks a straightforward question, "What offense is it?" Instead of giving a legal explanation, the inspector admits, "I don't know. You could look it up if you want to." That response speaks volumes. Police officers are expected to understand the laws they enforce. If an officer cannot identify the legal basis for an order, they should not be interfering with a person's lawful rights in the first place. Professional policing is built on knowledge, accountability, and respect for the law, not assumptions or guesswork. Before limiting a citizen's freedoms, an officer should be able to clearly explain the legal authority behind their actions. Acting first and searching for a justification later undermines public confidence and creates unnecessary conflict. Guesswork has no place in modern policing.
So, what I was going to say to you is, obviously, you want to speak to people about the parking of vehicles, obviously. I'm quite happy for you to do that. What I will say to you is that if you want to forward details to professional standards, you can go direct them. It's up to yourself. Okay?
To be honest, Inspector, and I mean this with the utmost respect, I'm flabbergasted that you seem to think it's an offence, or there is an offence, to film public buildings, but you can't tell me what it is. I'm flabbergasted.
Why?
Well, the man of your experience, you look like you've been at job for a long time. You're an inspector.
You're obviously going to try and get a bite out of me, and you've got
I'm not trying to get a bite out of you.
What I'll say to you is there is a lot of legislation out there, okay?
Which I know.
You tell me what that legislation is.
Well, I don't need to tell you. You're an inspector, mate.
I've told you there's legislation that prevents people from taking photographs of public buildings.
Right.
Okay? I cannot quote the actual script here of the legislation, but I can tell you it's in place.
Stop talking about it.
Rather than acknowledging that he had no legal grounds to stop the auditor, the inspector attempts to justify his actions by claiming, "I know there's legislation that prevents people from taking photographs of public buildings," only to admit moments later that he cannot name or quote the law. That response raises serious questions about whether his actions were based on legal authority or simply on assumption. In the UK, there is no blanket law that prohibits photographing public buildings, including police stations, from a public place. While certain powers under legislation such as the Terrorism Act 2000 may apply in specific circumstances, they require lawful grounds and reasonable suspicion, not vague beliefs or unsupported guesses. Simply taking photographs in public is not, by itself, a criminal offense. When an officer claims a law exists but cannot identify it, explain it, or show how it applies to the situation, it undermines confidence in the legitimacy of their actions. Police officers are expected to know the legal powers they rely on before interfering with a person's lawful activities. Enforcing imagined rules instead of actual law is not effective policing. It is an attempt to discourage conduct that may be entirely lawful.
Okay.
I know what it is.
Well, you tell me then.
Stop talking about it.
Right, okay. What I say to you now is you are now getting to a level where you are now becoming a little bit obstructive and offensive.
Well,
okay. And I would ask you to leave the area. I've come up to you to ask you why you're taking photographs of a public building and police vehicles, okay? I've explained myself to you. I've told you I am. Can I ask who you are?
He's laughing at you.
Can I ask who you are?
Who are you? Identify yourself.
Can I ask who you are, please, first?
You don't have to indict.
Can I ask who you are, please?
So you've got an inspector here,
Okay.
and you're telling me you do not have to identify yourself.
Right. At the moment, I'm getting concerned more about your behaviour.
WK9N. So Whiskey Kilo 9 November. He's the dog handler at Huddersfield Police Station.
Can I see your details, please?
Badge number 3092.
Police officers are expected to be open, accountable, and transparent during interactions with the public. When asked to identify themselves, they should provide their name and identifying details in a clear and professional manner. These standards help build public trust and ensure that officers remain accountable for the actions they take while carrying out their duties. In this encounter, however, the officer refused to provide that basic information, forcing the auditor to move closer and read the officer's name and shoulder number for himself. That should never be necessary. A simple request for identification should be met with a straightforward response, not resistance or unnecessary confrontation. When an officer avoids identifying themselves, it can undermine public confidence and create the impression that they are unwilling to be held accountable for their conduct. Professional policing depends on transparency, respect, and adherence to established standards. Providing identification when reasonably requested is a small but important part of maintaining those principles and ensuring positive interactions with the public.
See, Huntington. You'll be got a professional standard, sir.
Can I see your details, please?
No, you can't.
Right, okay. What I'm saying to you now is that you are also causing a bit of a problem here now, aren't you? We've asked you to leave, okay?
I'm not a public football.
I know you are. And you're obviously one of these people that wants to come round
No.
and try and wind police officers up.
I'm just doing something other people don't have the balls to do, which is take pictures of police cars parked in just an absurd place. I mean, come on, who the hell is parked there?
Right.
Double yellow lines and double blitz. Do you know what that means?
Right. If you want to take that further, regarding professional standards, please do so. What I've asked you to do now is actually move on yourself.
You've got professional standards as well.
Fine.
And so is this guy here.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
At least you told me you recorded. And it's nice to see you don't have a gang badge on. You've got a gang badge on, so don't even look at me. I don't want to speak to you. Get rid of that, get yourself on eBay and get yourself one of these. $2.99 and wear it with pride. The Union Jack flag. Yeah, take that crap off, get Union Jack.
I am starting to believe that you are now committing a racist incident. If you carry on an offence into, yeah.
I'm a British citizen.
I perceive this to be a racist matter now, okay? I would ask you to leave the area. I would ask you to leave the area, okay? Because you just offended me and my colleagues by saying that badges that we wear are offensive. I find that offensive and I believe that to be a racist behaviour. Please leave the area now.
In England,
okay?
I am wearing a Union Jack, so how's that racist?
The encounter takes another turn when the auditor criticizes the officer's thin blue line badge, describing it as a gang badge, and suggesting that the officer should wear the Union Jack instead. Whether people agree with that opinion or not, expressing criticism of a symbol is not the same as making a racist remark. The comments were directed at what the badge represents, not at anyone's race, ethnicity, or nationality. Rather than addressing the criticism calmly, the inspector escalates the situation by suggesting the auditor has committed a racist incident. That is a significant allegation and should not be made lightly. While UK policing guidance recognizes that reports of racist incidents are often recorded based on perception, officers are still expected to consider the facts and the context before treating an interaction as racially motivated. Criticism of a controversial symbol on its own does not automatically amount to racism. By characterizing lawful criticism as a racist incident without a clear factual basis, the inspector risks undermining confidence in both the complaint process and the seriousness of genuine discrimination cases. Police officers should distinguish between offensive opinions, political criticism, and genuinely discriminatory conduct. Failing to make that distinction can unnecessarily escalate an encounter and raise concerns that the allegation is being used to discourage or silence lawful expression rather than to address actual unlawful behavior.
I'm not saying you're saying that he's banned. You're saying that things that we wear we shouldn't be wearing. I find that offensive and I find that hate.
I'll tell you what I find offensive.
I want you to leave the area now, please.
20 years ago,
I want you to
police
leave the
officers were told they wasn't allowed to wear the Union Jack.
I want you to leave the area now, please.
Because it wasn't part of the uniform.
I want you to leave the area.
Why are you wearing gang badges? What makes it part of the uniform?
I want you to leave the area now.
No.
Okay.
I'm on a public highway. I am on a public footpath being obstructed by 2 police vehicles. They're obstructing the path. I've got proof and evidence and somebody else recorded.
Can I take your details, please? Because I believe you may be committing offences now.
Committing an offence? Committing an offence?
Yeah, obstructing the highway.
No, these are obstructing the highway.
Offences in relation to...
Your police van's obstructing the highway.
Yeah, that is allowed to do because I'm dealing with an incident that's protecting me.
There's no incident to deal with. You came to me, and that's what we're doing.
I came to you because I was concerned about your behaviour, okay? And I am still concerned with behaviour. Bye-bye.
Don't wish to speak to you anymore.
Good.
Absolute muppet.
I find that offensive as well. That is your first warning regarding public order. If you call me a muppet again, I will arrest you, okay? Public order. Harassment allowed distress, okay?
Are you being serious?
No, I am very serious.
You are going to be very, very famous by the end of today, my friend. Very famous.
If you call me a muppet again, I will arrest you for...
Let me get out of the way, because now I'm obstructing the road. I'm going to prove to you now...
Calling me a muppet is offensive.
Police officers are expected to remain calm and professional, even when they face criticism or minor verbal insults during interactions with the public. A certain level of verbal challenge comes with the job, and both police training and established legal principles recognize that officers should exercise restraint rather than immediately resorting to enforcement simply because they feel offended. In this case, the inspector warns the auditor that repeating the word "muppet" could lead to an arrest under Section 5 of the Public Order Act. However, an insult on its own does not automatically amount to a Section 5 offense. Whether the legal threshold is met depends on the specific circumstances, including whether the conduct is genuinely threatening or abusive, and whether it is likely to cause the level of harassment, alarm, or distress required by law. Simply offending an officer or bruising their ego is not, by itself, enough to justify an arrest. Professional policing requires officers to separate personal feelings from their legal responsibilities. Responding to criticism with threats of arrest can create the impression that police powers are being used to silence speech rather than address genuine public disorder. The public expects officers to exercise their authority with patience, restraint, and a clear understanding of the legal limits of their powers, especially during tense encounters.
I am going to prove to you, Inspector, on camera, that
you're under arrest for harassment, alarm and distress.
That's done no wrong, mate. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. You let go of me out, please.
No, you're under arrest.
You're going to be in a lot of trouble.
You're under caution. You don't have to say anything, but in my defence, if you don't have to mention one question, something which will let you in court.
I'm not struggling.
Come through it.
I'm not struggling. Why are you pushing my arm further up my back?
I told you you're under arrest.
Yeah, I'm under arrest, but I'm not. I'm cooperating. So why the hell are you doing that to me back?
Van keys are in my back pocket if somebody could move it.
You're in a lot of trouble. Don't delete your bodycam footage, Inspector, because I'll be making a subject access request. I'll be making a subject access request for your footage.
Take the seat.
Yeah, I'll turn the camera off now.
The most important detail in this part of the encounter is that the auditor never repeated the insult or escalated his behavior after the warning was given. Despite that, the inspector moved directly to detaining him without any obvious new incident or change in circumstances. If no additional conduct occurred to justify further police action, the decision to escalate raises serious questions about whether the response was proportionate and legally justified. From the footage, the arrest appears to follow immediately after the disagreement rather than being triggered by any fresh behavior. That sequence of events creates the impression that the inspector was responding to criticism instead of addressing a genuine threat to public order. Police powers must be exercised on the basis of clear legal authority, not frustration or personal disagreement with a member of the public. As the encounter continued, the inspector's actions became increasingly difficult to justify. If an arrest is made without sufficient legal grounds, it can expose both the officer and the police force to significant legal scrutiny. The video records each stage of the interaction, allowing viewers to judge for themselves whether the inspector acted within the limits of his lawful authority or allowed emotion to override professional judgment.
Am I safe to turn the camera off?
Take your back.
Am I safe to turn the camera off?
You can do whatever you want.
Am I allowed to record it here?
Yeah.
Right, I'll turn it off.
I'm still recording that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll be making a subject access request. So please do not delete your footage. And before you ask, I haven't got anything on me what I shouldn't have. Everything you've just done is on my mains camera. You are in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. They're arresting me for taking pictures.
No.
Right, well, I want you to
Public
speak to
order.
them, so I'll speak to the solicitor.
Okay. Excuse me, no phone calls in here.
Can I let someone know I'm here?
No.
No, not a miss, here.
No, we will do it once you get your
Yeah,
rights.
yeah, that's
Put
fine.
your phone down.
Yeah, I'm not going to use it.
Right, I'll take possession of them now.
Put it away. I need to put this
No.
on. It protects it.
Take your stuff off
You're going to
there.
break it. You're going to break your stuff.
Nobody's breaking anything.
Right.
Okay, I've told you.
All I wanted to do was just put them back on.
No,
No.
I've told you. Right, you're in custody, you're under arrest, you've been cautioned.
Right, I'll turn the camera off. Have you ever seen the Muppets, the Christmas special? Are you saying I can't say that word Muppet? Right. Afternoon, Jones.
So we haven't got his details yet. I haven't got a pen, but I'll quickly go through the circumstances. Just come over here, Kev.
I'm not going to give my details, mate. I'm not being awkward here.
Okay, right, go on.
Okay.
This top here is going to tell me why you're here.
Yeah, of course.
This man has been arrested for Section 5 public order harassment, alarm and distress. Basically, I was leaving the building at 25 past the hour when I saw this gentleman crouching down at the side of two police cars which are parked in front of the building on the pavement. I've stopped my vehicle to approach him to try and find out what was going on, as we were concerned that there might have been some sort of terrorist type threat. On speaking to him, I've realised he's some sort of video YouTuber and he's filming the building and the cars. I advised him regarding filming of public building. He said he was filming the obstruction of the vehicles on the path. He's then started becoming abusive to one of my colleagues because of a badge that he was wearing. I've asked him to stop. I advised him that I felt it caused myself harassment, alarm and distress. At that point, he's then started obstructing the middle of the highway, and I told him to leave the area, at which point he started to call me a muppet, which I found harassment, alarm and distress. So I've arrested him at that point for that offence, for the prompt and effective investigation of it, to prevent his disappearance and to establish his identity, which I couldn't at that time. Once we establish his ID, etc., we can turn him round. I'm more than happy with that.
Do you understand the allegation?
Yeah, I'm not going to start being awkward. I understand it. Yeah, I don't agree with it.
Crime.
But I understand it.
Obviously, you can't go around doing that, and obviously the consequences of what happened and things like that.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously, you've been here around hours, but we obviously need to process you and figure out exactly who you are and all that kind of thing. I can't let you go without knowing who you are, unfortunately.
We'll have to fingerprint you anyway, so if you're on systems, you'd come up anyway, so you might as well tell us now anyway.
As the auditor is escorted from the detention room to the front office, the inspector attempts to defend his actions by offering an explanation that appears inconsistent with the events shown on camera. By this stage, viewers have already witnessed the key moments of the encounter, making it possible to compare the inspector's account with the recorded footage. Whether his justification is convincing is something the audience can judge for themselves. Looking back at the interaction, a clear pattern emerges. It began with the inspector challenging the auditor for taking photographs from a public place without identifying any specific offense. The situation escalated when he claimed there was legislation prohibiting such photography but was unable to name or explain it. The encounter became even more contentious when another officer declined to provide his identifying details, forcing the auditor to read them himself. Later, criticism of the thin blue line badge was characterized as a racist incident, further increasing tensions. Finally, after the auditor referred to the inspector as a muppet, the inspector warned him about Section 5 of the Public Order Act before moving toward detention. What makes this incident particularly significant is that it involved a police inspector, a senior officer expected to demonstrate sound judgment, leadership, and a thorough understanding of the law. Senior officers set the standard for those under their command, especially during difficult encounters with the public. When those standards appear to fall short, public confidence can be affected just as much as the outcome of the individual incident itself. Ultimately, recordings like this highlight why transparency and public accountability remain so important. Video evidence allows the public to examine police conduct based on what actually happened rather than relying solely on competing accounts. Whatever conclusions viewers reach, footage of this kind encourages informed discussion about police powers, professional standards, and the importance of ensuring that authority is exercised fairly, lawfully, and with accountability. If you found this analysis informative, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more independent coverage of public accountability and policing issues. You can also check out Auditing Yorkshire for the original footage and additional content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.